Hey, Tosin. Hello, Naila. How are you?
Hi.
Fantastic. How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful, and Happy New Year to everybody. We're in 2021, and I pray this year be a great year for all of us and for the world at large. And a lot of the challenges of 2020, God willing, we will be able to transcend and emerge as a stronger, better humanity and a recovery that I think may be a lot more permanent than anything we've seen before. So that should be our hope and prayer for 2021 and the years ahead. Firstly, I'd like to wish all of you who've just come online a very, very happy New Year, a blessed 2021, with a prayer that we go from strength to strength in the years to follow, and that all the lessons of the past give us an opportunity for a sustainable, permanent future based on more solid foundations. So we wish you a very, very happy new year. Now, today, before we set aside all previous questions as well, because I wanted to share with you a very, very important message and a thought process. And let's start by taking a few moments to reflect on the importance of the spiritual service that we are all offering together for the betterment of others. Every other Saturday, we come together as one soul with the richness of a blend of different faiths and beliefs. Our group is so diverse with so many different faiths, cultures, beliefs. We all come together with our richness as one soul to seek help, peace, light, and abundance in the lives of all our fellow beings who are suffering in pain, darkness, and absence of hope. And our collective meditation for them, which is totally unselfish, brings hope and light to everyone. Now, I'd like us to imagine our service as being part of the umbrella of light, the light that reaches all in need, filling their lives with hope and creating positive changes for them by the blessing of our Creator. So think of our service as that umbrella of light. And seeking positive changes for all humanity and all creation by the blessing of our Creator, and inspiring those able to help in all forms, material and spiritual, to be graced with open eyes and an open heart, compassionate heart, that sees the plight of their fellow beings and inspires them to come forward and help. Now, why do I choose the word umbrella? Because that is the closest image that represents the depth of our work. And now we are talking at a very core spiritual level. This umbrella spreads its light gently and freely, just like the soft breeze we have all experienced, like that subtle scent in the air that reminds us that all is okay. This is what our purpose is. And I know that each one of you is constantly seeking to inspire others to join our group of service. And those that do join, it is their blessing and good fortune to do so. Now, why is it a good fortune and a blessing? I'll share an experience with you of this umbrella, which may place our service into a more clearer perspective and what we are doing together as a more clearer perspective. Many years ago, I was standing in prayer with a large group of souls like yourselves, almost 1,000 people. And before we went into our meditation, I saw a very beautiful and profound vision. And it wasn't a vision in the dream or anything like that. It was as real as me sitting here before you, talking to you. And I saw an umbrella of light appear above us all, just like a golden roof. And this umbrella filled us all with light and protected us from everything, just like an umbrella does so for all of us in the rain. This umbrella was so widespread that you could not point to any one part of it. It was everything. And hence it was above all human ego. And as you know, human ego always points to itself. When you looked at this umbrella, it was above all human ego because you could not point to any one part of it. It was just that golden roof of light. And then something very amazing happened. The physical forms of each person that was standing before me disappeared and was replaced by a gentle flame of a candle whose light was divine. And for a few moments, we were all candle flames, 1,000 of us. And above us was this beautiful umbrella of light. And then the candles all rose upwards towards the umbrella, and we all became the umbrella, all of us. And this is all I could see happening before me. And there were no individual identities left, just one light, just one soul. And I was in absolute awe, and totally humbled by this vision. And my dear friends, when we get together for our Sharing Hope meditation, I see us all flowing into that umbrella of light and reaching out to all people, places, creation, universes, everything with a purity of purpose that is totally unselfish. And my prayer for you always is that you may all be blessed to see this umbrella that you are such a beautiful part of. See it, experience it, know it. That's my prayer for you, with the grace of the Creator. And I truly, truly pray each one of you is granted that blessing by the Creator. And personally, I'm deeply humbled and grateful to be sharing this journey of service with you all. As we unselfishly get together and invoke the blessing of hope and help from our source that shines through each one of us and shines through all those we seek to reach out to and help and seek betterment for. So this encapsulates our Sharing Hope group, our meditations, our purpose, and what we are seeking to achieve. It is totally unselfish and based on purity of purpose, and that makes us all that umbrella of light, and our service flows in that light to all creation. So for that, we are all very blessed, and like I said, blessed and fortunate. And I pray that more and more of us may come together. But again, they will come together not because of you or me. We will do our best by inspiring others. But when they come together, it is their blessing to be there. Today is a very important day at the beginning of the year as part of a group that gets together to serve on the name of the light, in the name of our Creator. And it's very important for us to understand the role and importance of humility as we grow and ascend ourselves in our journey of light, because it's a very important subject. The importance of humility in spiritual growth and ascension. The importance of humility in spiritual growth and ascension. Now, one member of our group shared a very intriguing article, which appeared in the UK Times this week. And this article merits introspection by all of us. The title of the article is Mindfulness and Meditation Lead to Narcissism and Spiritual Superiority. Sounds shocking, doesn't it? Mindfulness and meditation lead to narcissism and spiritual superiority. So I read this article very carefully. And I thought I should share it with you, and I should also then be able to show you the distinctions between the role of patience and humility and the role that we are playing towards betterment of this world. Now, I'll paraphrase this article for you. So the article says, for centuries, gurus have taught that the path of enlightenment involves transcending the self. The path of enlightenment involves transcending the self. Very true. And she says, now the researchers have spotted a problem. Spiritual practices that are supposed to shrink the ego are more likely to inflate it. So I was very intrigued by that, and that made me want to read more and made me want to share it with you. People who take part in meditation and other forms of training designed to place them in touch with the universe and make them less judgmental were found to score very highly on the spiritual superiority index. So they were doing exactly the opposite of what they were taught. Now, Ruth Wong, a professor of social psychology from Radboud University in Netherlands, said, and she's the one who conducted the study, is that we know that most people have a deeply ingrained need to be better, more likable, more competent, more moral, or just more special than others. Yes, it's true. That's a true statement that people have a deeply ingrained need to be better and more likable, moral, competent, or just more special than others. And spiritual training aims to guide people towards spiritual enlightenment, transcending these desires of their ego. So they should become wise people who refrain from judgment, she says. But surveys of about 3,700 volunteers suggested the opposite was true. Those who had taken part in forms of meditation where the aim was to reduce attachment to the personal self and ego needs, such as social approval and success, they scored more highly in the questionnaires designed to measure spiritual superiority than those who had no such training. So, people who had not been trained in this area of spirituality and meditation actually were more humble. So, the result is the exact opposite of enlightenment, Professor Wong says. Now, obviously, I have a problem with the use of the word enlightenment here. It's very loosely used, and we'll explore that further. But she said the result was the exact opposite of enlightenment. She says gurus have written about the pitfall of spiritual narcissism, she added, but it had never been empirically investigated before, scientifically investigated before, through this trial of 3,700 volunteers. So these people were presented with a questionnaire. And it ranged from different questions, and they measured the responses of these questions. And one of them was, because of my education and experience, I am observant and I see things that others overlook. So one of the questions was, do you agree or do you disagree? Because of my education and experience, I am observant and I see things that others overlook. And the other was, the world would be a better place if others too had the same insights that I have now. Now, if you said yes to the fact that because of your education and experience, you are observant and see things that others overlook, that's arrogance. Because how do you know what they overlook? How do you know what they see? How do you know that they don't see the extraordinary in the ordinary? And you haven't even developed that skill. You're still trying. So that question was a very good question. And interestingly enough, the people who had been trained in meditation, they said, yes, we see more than others. And then that the world would be a better place if others too had the insights I have now. But how do you know? How do you know that those who have not been trained the way you are not even closer to the Creator than you? They are not even at out of the 10 stages, you may be at 3 and they may be at 8 or 9. You don't know. So you can't answer yes to that question. So she says people who believed that they had been taught to see auras and regress to past lives, she said these were the most spiritually smug, not a very nice word, but spiritually smug meaning arrogant, scoring 67% more than people with no training. So those who went to meditation classes and spirituality classes to see auras and regress to past lives and do these sensational things, they turned out to be more spiritually arrogant. 67% above those who had never had any training in meditation. That's a powerful statistic. And those who had undergone mindfulness sessions scored 50% higher than those who hadn't. So Professor Roos believes that the people who set out with good intentions are actually hijacked by their deep-seated desires. And the ego turns out to be a very powerful force inside people, she said. As soon as you're on the route to more enlightenment, your ego is watching. It's that bit of you that says, hey, I'm doing very well. In fact, I'm probably doing better than others. Reminds you of Donald Trump, doesn't it?
Nobody's stronger than me. Nobody has better toys than I do.
I'm doing very well. In fact, I'm probably better than others. Now, I'm a scientist. My first approach is to question the fundamentals of a study. And then I'll take on board what makes sense to me, and then I will set aside those that don't. Now, this study is published in the European Journal of Social Psychology, and we will post the link for you so that you can, those of you who are interested, can dig deeper. But I think, fundamentally, that Professor Roos's understanding of what is enlightenment is a bit too loose. It's actually off base. You can't use the word enlightenment to describe what she is talking about. However, I do agree with her, with the core message of her study, which emphasized the importance of humility as we advance spiritually. That is in the little that I have learned in my own journey, I would say that importance of humility is key. Now, if you come back to our master classes, which we have done so many, I think we've done more than 20 to date. But if you come back to our master classes on meditation, you will notice that we have always steered away from sensational concepts, like seeing auras, like past life regressions. We have stayed away from all that because these are sensational. And in my humble opinion, this is not enlightenment. So Dr. Roos completely misjudged what enlightenment is when she starts equating enlightenment to the ability to be sensational and see auras and life regressions. Those who can do it, bless you. It's good for you. But at the same time, that is not enlightenment. The work of an illusionist on a stage is not enlightenment. These are gifts. These are gifts people possess. Some people possess the gift of reading into astrology and presenting the future. That is not enlightenment. You cannot confuse gift from enlightenment. So I'm not belittling anyone regarding auras or past lives or hypnosis or what I have not. Please don't get me wrong. But that is not enlightenment. That's a gift. Enlightenment is something very pure, deep, and transcends all ego of our material world. And now let's talk a bit about enlightenment based on what we have learned in our classes. In our classes, we have focused on the meditative steps of stillness, silence, detachment, and then oneness, and finally linkage with our source. So our meditative steps, we are focused on our stillness, silence, detachment. Then we move to oneness after detachment because we're in the pure present. And then from there, we surrender everything to our Creator and move to linkage with our source, which is when we meditate on the name of our Creator. So this is the approach we have taken towards meditation. All these steps, you will, if you think about it, they bury the ego. In stillness, the turbulent ego is shut down. Ego is turbulence. In stillness, it cannot exist. So you're shutting down the turbulent ego. In silence, its noise is eliminated. Ego is very noisy. In silence, so when you go in your meditative steps of stillness, you shut down the ego. When you go into silence, its noise is eliminated. Then, with detachment, we leave behind our world with its ego, illusions, aspirations, hope, all that is good, all that is challenging. We leave it all behind in detachment. We also detach from the past. We detach from the future, placing us in the pure present. Then we enter oneness, where we become one with our source and all creation. Now, ego is of a singular identity. It cannot exist in oneness. It is like oil and water, they don't mix. Ego is single identity pointed at you. Oneness is where you become one with everything. That single identity is long dissolved, buried, gone. So in oneness, ego can't exist. And so our approach, as we take our meditative steps, and I'm sure you're all experts at it by now, has been to break away from our weakest links, like the ego, like the racing mind, like pride, judgmentalism, and more. We have taken the approach to break away from all this. We even learned, when we learned about the 10 stages of the soul, we said at the 8th stage, it's the stage of the orchestra, of pure harmony. All conflicts have gone, zero conflict. Ego is gone. So when we reach that level, we are free of ego. Then we narrow our thoughts down to the bare truth, which is us as one soul. The soul that is eternal, which is least interested in the material status, the ego, and all its illusions. That soul is well beyond it. It's like, when you reach that stage of becoming that one soul, you are at like that passenger on a 35,000 feet looking down at a little dot. And that dot is a house. And in the house is a human being who thinks he or she is the center of the universe. But when you look from above, you are least interested in any of that. That's the soul. Then in our final meditative step, we make that final break when we surrender our mind and all control of everything to our Creator. So we surrender everything to our Creator. Before we start focusing on our linkage word, which is a word that connects us with our Creator. Now that surrender cuts off even the finest little threads of ego that may be left. Because once you surrender your mind, your being, and everything to your Creator, where is the ego? So when I read the article, I recognized the need for spiritual humility. And that to me was a key message of importance to all. If there's any one thing it did highlight, was spiritual humility. And our spiritual teachers and scriptures have all emphasized humility is the key to enlightenment. You surrender all your control to your Creator and recognize that you control absolutely nothing. You realize your true place, which is that of a simple soul, awaiting with patience and humility for the blessing of enlightenment. So your true place is that of a simple soul, awaiting with patience and humility the blessing of enlightenment. Only then can you truly be on your way towards success in your search for the light. And our great teachers also say, absence of humility and patience shuts doors to the light. So everything we seek in meditation is rooted in these two fundamental qualities, patience and humility. And I believe the word enlightenment, as I already mentioned before, is used very loosely in today's world. And the article in the Times in some ways confirms that belief to me, that we use enlightenment, very casually, but it's something immense. It's something that's your ultimate goal. It goes beyond whatever material enlightenment can even begin to comprehend. I mean, true enlightenment is when you realize the self and you realize the Creator. And the outcomes of enlightenment, in my own understanding, is one of deepest humility. That's one of the first outcomes of enlightenment. The second outcome is immense love in your being for everything, for all creation. Because you recognize that yourself is present in everything. So you are filled with that love. That love, it flows, you can't stop it. It's so powerful. And it's so blessed that your soul is experiencing that. Because now you are part of that, you've gained that enlightenment. Another sign of, or another quality or hallmark of enlightenment is total departure from judgmentalism. Because you have realized the truth. And so there is nothing to judge. You have perfected yourself and you see yourself in others. So they too are perfected in your eyes at a spiritual level. So there is nothing to judge. Another quality or hallmark when you experience enlightenment is you become pure compassion. And so you only seek the best for everyone. Their joys are your joys. Their pain is your pain. And you constantly seek to better whatever you can for them. That's a hallmark of enlightenment. And finally, also, you're totally immersed in gratitude because you have become the eternal pool itself, and your gratitude flows everywhere, showing others through your example how much we all have to be grateful for. And there is lots more when you look into enlightenment from that perspective. The true understanding of enlightenment only comes when you are blessed with it. And I pray that this is something you are all blessed with to discover in your search. So when someone uses the word enlightenment around you, stop and remember, I've just sprinkled a few simple hallmarks of enlightenment based on my humble understanding. And with God's grace, when you have your experience and you understand and you learn, you will realize that what you sprinkle is actually infinite. You can never stop sprinkling. I've just thrown a few things at you to sort of take on board as food or food for thought and to add real understanding and of the gravity and the beauty and the power of enlightenment. So, loosely using that term can be very misleading. Sure, if you misuse the word itself, sure, you can compare narcissism and spiritual superiority and all these things. But your fundamental basis of enlightenment is not quite accurate. So, as long as you stick with the principles we have all learned together, there will be no room for ego or narcissism or spiritual superiority. There'll be no interest in any of that. And if you detect an interest within yourself, stop and ask yourself, what am I doing? Where have I lost the plot somewhere? Ask yourself. So that's a good way to always check yourself and check your humility. You should have a barometer of humility within you. And when you act and think and do and say things, always go back and say, was there any arrogance in that statement? If you think there was, as you were speaking, you say, by the way, I'm not trying to be arrogant, but this is my point. So, you begin to correct even your speech, which defines you. So coming to today's meditation, and this is the first one of 2021. And so it's very special. It's very important. And let's set our intentions for this year and the years to come. Now, as you know, I've previously explained that before you do anything, set your intentions. What is it that you seek to achieve? What is it that you seek to do? How is it that you wish to render service? So these intentions have to be set before you do anything, whether it's something in your material life or in your spiritual journey. So our intentions for this new year are gratitude for the year 2020 and years gone by, and some special supplications for 2021. What are our supplications for 2021? for global peace, for healing, and for a higher human consciousness that is compassionate, generous, and transcends all cruelty and greed and negativity. So we have three very, very important intentions which encompass the source of a lot of our challenges and the solution to a lot of our challenges. Global peace, healing of all types, and a higher human consciousness that is compassionate, generous, and transcends cruelty, greed, and all negative traits. Now, in our meditation, our first intention for 2021, as I said, is global peace. And having come through a very challenging 2020 and still dealing with the pandemic, humanity is witnessing suffering at unprecedented levels. Wars and conflicts do nothing but cost lives, drain resources, livelihoods, and dampen the human spirit. Therefore, there is a great hunger for peace in this world more than ever before. We as a humanity have to reconstruct ourselves as one global family. And to achieve this, peace and harmony are of fundamental importance. Therefore, our intention of today's meditation is that humanity be blessed with compassion and love for one another. That we can live together in harmony and celebrate our diversity rather than be threatened by it. That we may be blessed with the recognition that we are all together one soul, one family. Let us pray that our leaders be inspired to avoid wars, discourage persecution, and respect human life and its sanctity. And let us seek an end to all forms of conflict and healing for all those afflicted by it. Let us seek oneness and harmony as pillars of our human ethos and pray for peace in ourselves, deep inner peace, peace in our families and loved ones, and peace in our world at large. So that is our first intention. Our second intention for 2021 is healing. Now, I'd like to share with you an aspect of healing that we should all particularly pray for every day. I have a dear friend battling cancer, and he has lost almost 50 kilograms in weight and is at a stage where medical treatments are less and less and less effective. But apart from the sheer pain and suffering of his body, he's filled with sadness, feeling as though life has cheated him. In all our years of helping people with healing, and it's been more than 20, 25 years, in all our years, we have worked with people with healing all over the world. And in that experience, Karima, the team, and I have encountered many thousands of people suffering a similar plight as my friend. So many lie there in despair, engulfed by pain and a sense of deep loss, because their appearance and the way they present themselves is a core part of their identity. And now, with their body disintegrating before them, they believe that identity is lost. It comes with a great amount of sadness. And none of us can even start to imagine how they feel. Others feel that they are being punished despite having helped so many or done so much good in their lives. They feel a sense of betrayal and they can't help it. Many are engulfed by fear. The one thing all these beloved beings desperately need is peace, inner peace, peace with their reality, peace with their journey, pure peace. And through our prayer and our meditation, we can bring peace to them, because for them they are in such a difficult space that creating it on their own from within, can it be done? Yes, it can be done. But receiving it in the form of a prayer, in the form of a blessing, is like that river or that ocean of love and light that flows through them, and suddenly their sadness is gone and their being is filled with peace. This is what we have to seek in our meditation. I remember when we were in Spain, and I'm talking about the early 2000s, there was one young lady. She was only 25, and she had suffered from cancer for almost 10 years, and her body was slowly disintegrating. She was a Spanish girl, and her family found out that I used to help people heal themselves, teach them to meditate, teach them how to use their own power of self to complement their medical treatment so that they got better. And so they brought her to see me, and we sat together in a room, and I invited her family to join us, and we all prayed together with her. And that meditation was very beautiful. We all prayed for blessings upon her, and one of the biggest blessings was that of peace, because this girl was filled with fear. And then at the end of the meditation, she asked her family to leave and everybody to leave. And she just held my hand and cried and cried and cried like endlessly. But these were tears of relief. They were not tears of sadness, they were tears of relief. And once she finished crying, and I told her, keep crying, let it all come. It's fine, you're okay. And then when she finished crying, she smiled at me, squeezed my hand, and said, I am now ready. And so they took her home, and the next day she passed on very peacefully. And then her family all came to see us just to say thank you, because that last day of her life, they said, was one of the best ones they could remember, because she was at peace. Sadness was gone. That whole fear of what lay beyond was gone, because she got a glimpse of it in the meditation. That river of peace flowed through her, enlightening her. And she realized that, heavens, where I'm headed to, there's nothing to fear. I'm okay. And so that last day with her family was one of real quality. And my dear friends, you and I and all of us in our meditation can help countless people with our prayers achieve that blessing of peace. And it's so important, because those moments of watching your body waste away, the darkness you feel, the betrayal you feel, the pain you feel, changes your perspective. And you don't want people to pass on in that state. You want them to go in celebration and peace. And so this is how we can be of service. This is how we can be of service. I've seen it before my own eyes many, many times, the change, the transformation that occurs. So I do know the power of what is achievable. And with so many of us together, it's a blessing. So today in our meditation, when we focus on peace, let us seek that blessing of inner peace and pure peace upon all our beloved fellow beings who are suffering this plight, and seek peace for them as they prepare to transition or recover with the grace of the Creator. And let us pray in our meditation also today for healing of all those who are unwell through physical, mental, and emotional health challenges. And we pray that they may be blessed with relief from their pain and suffering, and for healing of their body, mind, and emotions. Let us offer special prayers for those who are grieving from the loss of loved ones, and for all those who are in misery, for whatever reason it may be, that their bodily sicknesses may be healed. And also on the subject of healing, It is very important for us to realize and recognize that our waters, our wildlife, marine life, forests, soils have suffered much damage at the hands of humanity. So let us pray for healing of all our waters, from water under the ground to ponds, to streams, lakes, rivers, and oceans, and the water that is in our air. Let us pray that they may be cleansed and rejuvenated, so that they may continue to nourish the rest of creation with their purity. And let us seek healing for all our wildlife, forests, and natural resources that have suffered from our pollution, neglect, and greed, that they may all be restored by the blessing of Mother Nature, by the blessing of our Creator. Let us also pray for healing of our atmosphere and our air, that it may be cleansed and rejuvenated, so that it may continue to nourish and protect the rest of creation with its purity. And our third intention for 2021 is fostering of a higher human consciousness that is compassionate, generous, mindful, and transcends cruelty and greed. Now, our world is governed by our consciousness today. And today, our mass consciousness, which is the consciousness of all of us together, is largely influenced by the media, by social media, and transmission of information, a lot of which is manipulative, often fake, but we are conditioned to think based on what we see, hear, and read. So mass consciousness today is largely a negative one. Just turn on the TV, and you'll find that the only news that sells is when bad things happen. 90% of our news coverage is of a negative nature. And all this affects us. So from what I have seen, our mass consciousness today is one of fear, apprehension, and worry, lack of compassion. We can sit comfortably and have our snacks and watch news on TV of starving people, of people suffering devastation, but it does not affect us. We get up and fill our snacks again. No impact on us. That's total lack of compassion. We become numb. We need to wake up. This is where our mass consciousness needs to change. Our consciousness is also defined, mass consciousness is defined by greed, which needs no elaboration, and neglect towards our environment and also towards our fellow beings, and lots more. COVID has surprisingly helped us transcend some of these negative dimensions of our consciousness, but we have a long ways to go. Therefore, in our meditation, let us seek love, compassion, and harmony in our human consciousness. Love, compassion, and harmony. Let that define our mass consciousness. Let us seek generosity and fairness to replace greed, kindness to replace cruelty, faith and hope to replace fear, apprehension, and worry, mindfulness to replace neglect, care and positive concern towards our environment, and generosity towards wisely investing in solutions that help our environment. And so this is our third very, very important intention. And our final intention is, let us offer deepest, deepest gratitude for all the blessings we have received in 2020 and all the years gone by, for clean air, water, nature, and our beautiful environment. Gratitude for all the resources that we need and the abundance we receive. Gratitude for our families and loved ones and all those who make our lives so fulfilled. For the blessing of love, light, peace, and hope. Now, we have received more intentions from some of you, which I wish to share with the group. The first one is for special prayers for all departed souls. So we will remember them in our meditation. Then we received a prayer request for third world countries and poor nations and the less fortunate who do not have enough medical supplies and treatments for not only COVID, but all other illnesses. And also pray, the request is that we pray that the new COVID vaccines reach all these countries and their people with minimal obstacles, because there is a lot of challenges that lie ahead. And some of these people may not even see vaccines for years unless there's a very powerful, compassionate drive in humanity to reach everybody, not just ourselves. And when humanity decides with that, takes on that challenge, they deliver. And our meditation should focus on that, is empowering humanity and our leadership and our systems to bring those vaccines to everybody. Now, the last time we prayed for a young lady who was struggling to make it to her father's funeral from the Middle East, and the father's funeral was in the Philippines. And I'm pleased to advise you that despite all the complications on her path, she made it to the Philippines in time for her father's funeral. So deepest gratitude from her family to the group for all your goodwill and prayers. So it's really nice to see that in some small way, prayers were able to help her get there. Now we have a special prayer request. And this mother says, of a child says, please pray for my daughter who is going through bipolar depression. She has gone down the drain mentally, physically, and emotionally. Because of her illness, she could not do good in her education, relationships, or jobs. Her only 12-year-old son does not want to live with her. She's in trauma at this point. Please pray for her and me to have strength to go through this journey of life. Thank you. Heartbreaking message. Let us all particularly remember her and her daughter in our prayers and seek a very positive transformation and shift in their lives, getting better and better each day. Then we've received prayer requests for cancer patients and others, many of whom have surpassed the capacity of medical science to help them any further. And finally, several intentions have been offered for help for people in difficulty and distress, suffering illness, emotional challenges, relationships, and more. So those are our intentions for tonight. This is a very important meditation. The first one of us together as a group in 2021. And so let us sit back, close our eyes, and be completely relaxed. Breathe freely. Let go of all your emotions, tensions, worries. Let them all go. Let them leave your being completely. Breathe freely and be at complete peace. Complete peace. I'd like you to imagine that you're standing on top of a tall mountain and the sun is shining. It's a bright morning sunlight. The rays of the sun are coming down and kissing the dewdrops on the grass, causing them to sparkle. The sky is blue. There's birds in the sky, trees, flowers, green grass. It's a very, very beautiful setting. Take a moment and take in the nature and its beauty and its purity. And then in front of you, you see a lake a crystal clear lake. And you walk into this lake until the water reaches your knees. And you look down at your knees and the water has small ripples. And you would like to see the reflection of your face in the water. And so you look at the water, you look at the ripples, and you repeat, stillness, stillness, stillness. And as you repeat the word stillness, you make the water go completely still. Take a few moments and keep repeating stillness, stillness. Stillness, complete stillness. The water now is completely still, and you can see your reflection in it. It is almost like a mirror. You can see the reflection of your face, the blue sky. The water is completely still. And as you look at the rest of the lake in front of you, it is also completely still, like a mirror. You are completely still. Stillness. 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 And then you repeat the words silence, silence, silence. As you go completely silent, silent from within, all the nature around you is silent, 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 silent. You're now completely still, completely silent. And then in front of you, you see 3 lotus flowers. The first one, floating in the water, is a white flower. And this flower represents your world, your hopes, your aspirations, your family, your loved ones. Everything about your world is shown to you in that flower. As you look at this flower representing your world, you repeat gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Gratitude for your world and all its blessings. Gratitude. Gratitude. And then you look at the next flower, which is a yellow one. And this represents your future, your hopes, your aspirations. As you look at this flower of your future, you repeat gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Gratitude to even be able to look forward to a future. Gratitude, gratitude. And then you look at the third flower, which is a pinkish red lotus flower, floating on the water. And this represents your past, your memories, all your experiences. Your past has made you who you are. And you look at this flower of your past and repeat, gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. And now it is time to detach from the world, from the past, from the future. As you turn around and begin to walk out of the lake, and you keep repeating, detach, detach, detach. You detach from the past, the future, and your world. You are now in the pure present. Pure present. In stillness, in silence, in pure present. And in front of you, you see this ray of morning sun touching the grass, and you step into the ray, and you are now surrounded by its light. As you start rising up the ray towards its source. And as you look down below you, the mountain becomes smaller and smaller and smaller until it finally disappears. As you rise higher and higher up the ray to its source. And then you step into its source, which is a bright, warm, loving light. This is the light of creation, the light of peace, the light of love, the light of healing, the light of hope. And in the presence of this light, you repeat oneness, oneness, oneness. As you become one with the light, one with the Creator, one with all creation, oneness, oneness. As the light of oneness flows through you and to everything, you are oneness. Keep repeating this word, oneness. Oneness. And then in the light you see the loving hand of a loving parent, your source, your creator. And like the child, you place your hand in the hand of your creator, surrendering everything to your creator in pure trust. You surrender your mind, you surrender all control, you surrender everything to your creator as you open yourself to be guided into the light. As you repeat the words, surrender, surrender, surrender. And then in the presence of the light, you repeat your linkage word in slow rhythm in your mind. The linkage word is the name of your creator, whatever you believe your creator's name is. This word is either given to you or you have chosen it. And you repeat it in slow rhythm. I will repeat origin. You will repeat your linkage word. origin, origin, origin. Take a few moments and keep repeating your linkage word in slow rhythm. Origin. Keep repeating your linkage word for a few more moments. And in the presence of the light, we seek healing. We seek the blessing of healing upon ourselves, of our bodies, our mind, emotions. Healing for all of humanity, all those who are unwell, in sickness, in pain, grieving. Healing for all creation. Healing for nature. Healing of our waters, our environment, our air, our forests, wildlife, marine life, our land. As you repeat in your mind, heal in the name of the light. And you can replace the word light with the name of your Creator. Heal in the name of the light. Heal in the name of the light. As the light of healing flows through you, reaching every element of your being, healing you completely from all the roots of your illnesses and challenges and emotions. Heal in the name of the light. Heal in the name of the light. As the light of healing flows through you and from you to all creation, to all humanity, to all nature, to the environment. Heal in the name of the light. Keep repeating these words. Heal in the name of the light. Heal in the name of the light. And in the presence of the light, we seek peace. Deep inner peace within ourselves. Peace in our fellow beings. Peace in all humanity. Peace in all creation. Peace in nature and our environment. Peace in all those who are in pain and suffering. Peace, peace, peace. As the light of peace flows through you, placing every element of your being in peace, the light of peace flows from you to all creation, to all the universes, to nature, to the environment, to all humanity, all creation. Peace, peace, peace. Keep repeating the words, peace. Peace, peace, peace. And in the presence of the light, we seek unity. Unity within ourselves, unity within our families, loved ones, peoples, unity in humanity, unity with nature, unity with all creation, unity, unity, unity. As the light of unity flows through you, blessing you with oneness, and from you to all creation, unity, unity, unity. And in the presence of the light, we seek harmony. Harmony within ourselves, freedom from all conflict, harmony within our being, harmony in humanity, harmony with nature, harmony with all creation, eliminating all conflict and wars, harmony, harmony, harmony. As the light of harmony flows through you, bringing deep inner harmony to your being, and flows from you to all creation. Harmony, harmony, harmony. And in the presence of the light, we seek hope. Hope within ourselves, hope in all humanity, hope in all creation. As the light of hope flows through you, filling your being with faith and hope that your Creator is always with you. The light of hope flows from you to all creation, to all universes, dispelling all darkness forever. Hope, hope, hope. In the presence of the light, we seek compassion, the blessing of compassion within ourselves, within all of humanity, within all of creation. Compassion that brings strength, that brings light, that brings generosity, that dispels all cruelty. Compassion, compassion, compassion. As the light of compassion flows through you and from you to all creation. Compassion, compassion, compassion. And in the presence of the light, we seek abundance. Abundance in ourselves, in our lives, abundance in the lives of our loved ones, abundance in all of humanity, all of creation, free flow of resources, pure abundance that eliminates poverty forever. Abundance, abundance, abundance. As the light and blessing of abundance flows through you and from you to all creation, to all those who are suffering, to all those in poverty, abundance to nature, with purity, abundance to all creation, abundance, abundance, abundance. Abundance, abundance. We pray that 2021 and all the years to come be graced with healing, with love, with peace, with compassion, hope, light, generosity, abundance, abundance, abundance. And in the presence of the light, we offer gratitude, deepest, deepest gratitude, eternal gratitude for the blessing of life, for the blessing of light, for the blessing of all the abundance we have been graced with, for the blessing of our environment, water, nature, clean air, clean earth. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. And may the gratitude flow through you, reaching every element of your being with eternal gratitude, filling you with eternal gratitude. And let this gratitude flow from you to all creation, to all universes. Gratitude, gratitude. Gratitude for 2020 and all the years gone by. Gratitude for every blessing we continue to receive every moment. Gratitude, gratitude. Gratitude, gratitude. And now it's time to leave the source and step back in the ray as you begin to descend down the ray back towards the mountain. And as you look below, you see the mountain appear again. And it gets larger and larger and larger. Until you finally set foot on the grass again. You're back in your world, in that green grass and blue sky, with birds, with that crystal clear lake in front of you, with trees, with flowers. You're back in your blessed world as you keep repeating gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. You may open your eyes whenever you're ready. I'd like to offer my deepest, deepest, most sincere gratitude to each one of you who joined us in today's meditation, who joined us in this spiritual service, offering deepest gratitude for 2020 and all the years gone by, and seeking special blessings upon all creation in 2021 and the future ahead. I pray that you may always stay blessed, be filled with love, light, harmony, freedom from conflict, filled with hope, wisdom, wisdom within yourself, wisdom to guide and help others. I pray that the light of our Creator be present in every moment of your life to help you, guide you, protect you, and love you always. So stay blessed, and inshallah, we look forward to seeing you next Saturday for our class on the third of the seven worlds. Thank you once again, and be happy and safe.